everybody, I'm Rosie, and today we're going to talk about Sofia the First.
Episode number 4 is called
Cedric's Apprentice.
I thought it was Cedric's Apprentice.
Cedric, no, that's what Cedric, it's Cedric. You're thinking what Sofia calls him.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Cedric.
She says Cedric's Apprentice when she's reading the title, but in the actual episode she calls him Cedric every single time.
And it's really Cedric, you got right.
Alright,
Yeah.
So what happens in this episode?
In this episode, Sofia has a test at school to turn a rock into a diamond.
And I'm surprised they're teaching this at Royal Prep, right? Like, why do you need to learn magic in order to be a king or a queen?
Because you can fix things, but you get a royal sorcerer.
Yeah, because all these kings and queens seem to have their own royal sorcerers, but I guess they learned the rudiments of magic in the fairy school anyway.
So just in case a sorcerer doesn't know this trick, and he can't read the words because it's super long word, just like...
Well, this episode does clarify there is a sorcerer school. It's really a Cedric episode. I think this is our first episode which is featured really heavily with Cedric.
Like that whole episode, drop a bunch of Cedric parts on the episode, and it's a Cedric episode. That's basically what they did.
Cedric's on screen for more than half the episode, I would say. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about...
And we get to see his parents, right? His parents show up.
Yeah.
Apparently, you get to see his dad, who is this famous sorcerer who saved the king 18 times. And Cedric is just having a hard time living up to his dad's legacy. Goodwin the Great was dad's name.
Goodwin the Great?
And then, I don't know what his wife's name was, but not so great, I would call her. Because... Yeah, his mummy. What did Mummy keep doing?
Steal the amulet.
Yeah.
She's like, it's my friend.
She keeps telling her son, you gotta steal the amulet and take over the kingdom, whereas Dad's like, no, don't do it. And apparently that's why he has their portrait on the walls, so they can use it to just teleport themselves into his tower whenever they want.
On him.
And talk to him whenever they want, yeah.
Yeah, bad idea.
So, because Sofia has this big magic test in school, she decides to get some help from Mr. Cedric, because he's a sorcerer, so he could...
Cedric!
Sorry. So she decides, she basically becomes his apprentice. And she gets a cool new outfit for it, too. It looks like the...
An apprentice is someone who helps you, and...
apprentice is really somebody who learns something from you, actually.
And you have to do stuff to learn that. So Sofia had to clean up her stuff. You know what he tried to do? He talked to Wormwood. You know what he tries to do to steal the amulet this time?
What? How does Cedric try to steal the amulet? Because of
Pouring
course...
an invisible potion on himself, and then he sneaks up and grabs the amulet.
Okay, I have a couple things to say here, if I could interrupt here.
Of course.
Cedric basically tells Sofia being an apprentice means you have to clean my room, which is not exactly what an apprentice does, but usually, like, an apprentice will have to do a bunch of menial tasks like that. So it was a little rude of Cedric to do it that way. But also, yeah, I just wanted to say Sofia's new Sorcerer's Apprentice outfit kind of looks like the Mickey Mouse Sorcerer's Apprentice outfit. I'm sure that was on purpose. It was very cute. I like that.
I remember when I watched, like, the show, and a bunch of different stuff in it, and I remember...
Mickey Mouse with the brooms and the Sorcerer Yensid.
Yeah, and he was trying to mop the floor. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So, I mean, Sofia was wearing the outfit.
It was so cute. It was all blue, and it had stars, but Sophia's didn't.
She had the same hat. She had the same hat, which is just purple instead of blue with stars. Because Sofia likes wearing purple. And it was pink on the inside, too.
Pink on the inside, yeah.
So, Sofia ends up helping Mr. Cedric with his,
It's Cedric!
No, it's Cedric, not Cedric.
It's Cedric.
She ends up helping him with his confidence problem because he can do magic well, and he admits part of it is because he's just nervous in front of the king. And King Roland probably doesn't make it easy on him, because King Roland's kind of pressury. Like, he puts a lot of pressure on Cedric, and he's really quick to say, "Oh boy, Cedric's gonna mess up again."
No, come on, give
This
him
was
a second chance.
Another episode where
Give him a
King
second
Roland
chance.
wasn't so
Can't
nice.
you just let him grab his spell book and get a second chance?
Well, apparently one of the integral parts of performing a spell correctly is, like, being free of emotion or not being nervous.
Well,
Sort of like Raven from Teen Titans, I suppose. Or even Harry Potter with the
me. Actually, yeah, I had to perform and do something in front of every class in the school except the preschool. In my school, and I was, like, so nervous.
But you
really
were brave, and you tried not to be nervous, and that was the same problem Cedric had. You were better than Cedric, though, because he gets nervous and messes up a lot, but you weren't nervous.
I was just like,
You did pretty well.
It's like this time I was singing in front of everyone. Like, I only sang a little bit. I was, like, so nervous. I only sang a little bit, and then went back to my seat. When I was playing my recorder, I was, like, not talking, but I was just, like, blowing into it. So, not scared doing a recorder.
Speaking of singing, Cedric gets a song in this episode. I can't even remember the song.
Because it was so good, you can't remember it.
No, more like the opposite is why I can't remember it. I think he tried to rhyme Cedric the Great. I think that was the rhyme he did
Cedric
every single time.
I would do Cedric the Best.
He wants to be King Cedric the Great, something like that. Yeah.
You should call him King Cedric the Best.
Okay.
Yeah,
And one of the spells that goes wrong, or it was a potion that went wrong, it turned Sofia into a little lizard. And unless I'm mistaken, this gets added to the theme song at one point. So this is the episode where the lizard scene comes from.
So, here's what happens in the lizard scene. Well, Sofia grabbed a potion and accidentally spawned herself and turned into a purple lizard. I'm not sure any of you have seen it before. But she turned into a purple lizard, and he helped her and turned her back into me.
Mr. Cedric, he easily...
It's Cedric!
Oh, he easily does the spell Lizardo Changeo. It's like a week 1 spell from Sorcerer's School. So he's really good at it, but she is super impressed and amazed and grateful. And he's kind of touched when she calls him her friend. And she leaves like a little heart of rubies because she's been practicing her ruby spell, and she thinks it's all thanks to him that she was able to help. And so she tries to return the favor. Oh, she does pass her test in school. She tries to return the favor by making Cedric look good when a visiting king comes. King Magnus shows up.
Well, her test in school, like, you know what she did with that one shoe? She turned it into a glass slipper. I wanted to wear that glass slipper! Why didn't she let me wear it?
Well, there's only one glass slipper. Unless you're Cinderella, you're not going to be walking around with just one glass slipper.
No, and I would steal it.
Don't steal glass slipper.
I would steal all those glass slippers. I would steal all of them and wear them on my feet every day.
Anyway, visiting King Magnus is a bit of a braggart. King Roland seems to kind of not like this guy because King Magnus is so busy bragging.
Oh, my magic sorcerer can make a zoo of 100 amulet.
Yeah, he keeps bragging the whole time during Cedric's show. And
my magic sorcerer can make a circus appear out of thin air.
King Roland didn't want to do the magic show, but Sofia kind of pushed it and made sure it happened.
Okay,
and so Cedric is planning on using his invisibility potion to steal Sofia's
amulet. And this is
amulet.
when Mom and Dad come.
Mom and Dad and James and Amber. Amber doesn't really talk in this episode, I don't think, but I know her voice was listed in the credits, even though she didn't say anything.
She didn't say anything that whole episode long.
She was just quietly watching, I suppose.
She's like grumpy that day. Maybe
Cedric...
something made her grumpy. Maybe her tiara got ruined, or one of her tiaras got broken.
Maybe. So Cedric's spell, he tries to do a spell to make the rabbit fly all over the room, and it kind of works for 5 seconds, but then he gets nervous and messes up. And Sophia's like, oh man, I've got to help out my buddy Cedric. So she turns herself into...
Cedric!
No, she turns herself into a lizard on purpose. And so he can save her by turning her back into a human, and everybody else is super impressed. They're like, oh, you just saved Sophia's life. Thank you so much, says the king.
The second king was like, my magic sorcerer never did anything like that.
Yeah, so now Cedric looks really good.
To brag, like, my magic sorcerer got to she turned herself into a lizard, and he saved her life. Look, I'm the yumma, baby.
That is exactly what King Roland sounds like. He would totally be like doing that to all the foreign dignitaries.
You would tell that to all the kings, be like, my magic sorcerer.
Okay, we're getting to the end of the episode. Let's wrap up here. So Cedric decides his final trick will not be using the invisibility potion to steal the amulet and take over the kingdom. Instead, he uses it to turn the rabbit invisible. Clover.
Clover the rabbit?
Clover does talk. We get to hear him talk, but I mean, obviously nobody can hear him besides Sophia, so I think it's kind of weird that Cedric... Where does Cedric get the rabbit from anyway? Like, he has easy access to Sophia's pet rabbit?
Maybe Sophia's like...
Let him borrow it ahead of time? We just didn't see that?
Wait, Cedric?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe should we pretend they were practicing. I think they used a rabbit for one of the tricks.
Maybe, like, this would have been a scene that didn't appear, but that's probably what happened, is she probably loaned him Clover. And there's kind of a sweet ending where she's like, I got a gold star in school thanks to your help, so I made you a gold star because you did really well on your magic performance.
And that was the first time I ever saw him smile.
Yeah, he's smiling and happy,
Wormwood
and when Wormwood's giving him some guff about not taking over the kingdom, he's like, I can take over the kingdom another day, Wormy. And he's just admiring his gold star and looking so happy. And I really like this episode.
Wormwood was not happy at all. Can't we have an episode where Wormwood is happy?
We're going to have another episode about Wormwood. Don't worry. Wormwood is going to be the focus of a different episode, I think.
Yay!
I'm not remembering which episode, but I know he's going to show up again. Don't worry. He's
Of course he will.
So what are your thoughts on this episode? I was going to say I really enjoyed this episode. It's really cool to have a Cedric episode, which was done pretty well and kind of goes into a psychology. And, he's not really a bad guy. Maybe he's just pressured into doing bad things. And he's not really incompetent. He just has a confidence issue.
Or maybe he needs to study more. Well, my thoughts on this episode are...
Did you like it? I liked it. I thought it was good. I'd recommend it.
I would give it like 10 points for a Cedric episode. But I would also I want to give it 20 points because it lost that other 10 points. Because we didn't get to hear James or Amber talk.
James has like 2 lines at the very start when he...
Oh, but on that, we don't get...
They were in class together, and James says something about the test on Saturday or Friday.
Andrew didn't get to talk at all.
Who's Andrew?
You mean Sophia's sister?
Amber, yes, Amber.
I got it mixed up with Andrew, who Karen's little brother. I almost said sister.
Yes, in the Babysitter's Club Little Sister book series, I've done reviews for those books. You can check them out on my channel, Argo Funk Reads. And you can also check out the rest of our reviews for Sofia the First episodes on our Sofia the First podcast.
And we did some games and stuff. Yes, we do games, and we post them on YouTube. So make sure to look at every single video.
All right.
No, you don't have to.
Thank you for watching. Any final words?
I love the episode!
I thought it was great too. Bye.